Yo, it's Mel from Rap Rankings. To hear the full episode this clip comes from and all the other episodes, stop by raprankings.com or search Rap Rankings on your favorite podcast platform. Track 2, Icebox, produced by Russ Shell and Take a Day Trip. 7-.
Wow. 8+.
Wow.
8+.
Okay.
Tied with two other songs for my favorite song on here.
Jesus. All right, 8+. Well, hey, good news. This went up from 2019. This was a 6. So
this this was not like something that hit me on my first listen, but when it clicked with me, I became addicted to the record.
Wow. Well, hey, he's got an appeal to Moulz up top. He's like, when he's bantering, he's like, I'm in New York right now. I'm a different kind of animal
when I'm in here. Yeah.
And you know about me. I turn into a bitch in New York. Okay, I ducked.
Yeah, you ducked.
Graffiti.
No, yeah. Me and Kevin, I agree with him though.
Like, well, I agree with being a different animal in different places. I connect with that idea because I'm like that in San Diego. I'm a different animal in San Diego.
I'll say like I'm more swagless in California than I am in New York.
You know, right? So I know what he's saying. You know, I don't have to connect with the place.
I connect with that statement wholeheartedly. I like this music too. It's like bang 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 bang.
That's a cowboy trap music. No, Lil Nas X.
But like, when he's talking about like taking these journeys where I'm gonna need an interpreter, like that's what I'm here. Like that's what the music is saying to me. You know, like
you're on a horse clumping into town.
Yeah, this is a traveling song. When I listen to this in the car and I'm on like the road moving, this is great. Like if you're not in traffic and you can actually drive, like today, for instance. A lot of people are out of town, and you know, Black Friday as a retail experience in store is not what it was. The roads were like empty today, so
really?
I was able to. The roads were fucking empty in California today. Like I was driving all through LA, Burbank. I was playing this. Like nobody was. I got to Burbank in like 20-30 minutes, which is unheard of from where I'm at.
That is shocking. In LA on Black Friday, it was like a ghost town?
Ghost town, but it was kind of a ghost town on Thanksgiving as well. A lot of people get out of here. A lot of people go back to where they came from.
I can't understand you taking these journeys where I need an interpreter. White power. Okay. Yeah, I mean...
And listen, I'm going to be very fair, I think, in this review towards these choruses, because like some of the choruses on this album barely work for me, even though they work in maybe like a conventional sense. They just don't really do anything for me. Certain ones though, like this one, I really get into.
Okay.
Taking these journeys while I'm gonna need an interpreter. Had a problem, couldn't solve with the murderers. Forced entry, home invasion. I know the burglars. Pardon my thoughts, I had to put up the burglar bars. People done hurt us all. Icebox where my heart was, it don't hurt at all. She got a murder charge. Listen, I love this chorus. Very catchy. A good wordy chorus, in my opinion.
He's good at wordy choruses. And it's because he's good with melody.
Yes, he's very good with melody.
So that's what gets that over. As far as the, Icebox imagery metaphor, it's no Omarion, but, it gets the job done.
It's better than the Omarion.
Wow.
And you know what? I'm glad you brought that up because I saw a tweet from DJ Artistic, and someone was saying something about... Snoop Dogg says that Fetty Wap has the song of the year with his new single, Sweet Yams.
I've heard.
And it's a tweet from DJ Artistic that says, nah, why is Fetty's blowing up way more than Masego and Devin's original? And it's Masego and Devin Morrison, Yams.
Oh, I know Devin the dude.
Yeah, me too. Devin Morrison. So someone basically said, why is Fetty's version, Artistic said, why is Fetty's version blowing up way more than Masego, and Devin's original? And this guy says, crushed bacon, real simple, bro. Masego's version is like an R&B version. It feels soft. And Fetty's is a thirsty dude just trying to get to the yams. Like he needs that shit. Life or death. LOL. So DJ Artistic then quote tweets that tweet and says, basically just explained why melodic rap took R&B's spot in the last 10, 15 years. And I gotta tell you, I was thinking about that a lot today. And he's not wrong. Because if you think about the R&B of the last 10 or 15 years, what was really popular? Like, you could say The Weeknd, but he transitioned to pop to become as popular as he became.
Uh-huh.
Like, he stopped making straight up R&B. Who else? Ty Dolla $ign. I mean, he did a lot of stuff, like songs with other people that were big. But again, kind of in the rap space a lot of the time.
I'm hearing that like the R&B artists now are like Giveon and Ari Lennox and her HER.
I don't hear that music though.
You know.
I heard, when R&B was more, I guess, in season, that music was on the radio and also being played on rap mix shows and stuff like that. When the rappers started singing, it did start to really edge a lot of that stuff out.
Your point still remains. Like, even though these are supposedly the voices of this generation,
it's not my point.
They're getting out.
It's DJ Artistic's point.
Well, right. Well, I mean, you agree with the point, though, right? That,
I was just thinking about it, though, because I do think, like, okay, like, who do I listen to that's R&B from, like, the last 10, 15 years? It's like, all right, 10, 15 years? Party Next Door, T-Pain, Ty Dolla $ign, The Weeknd, but he's kind of pop now. Not that that's a problem, but it just is what it is. Like, I've got some people that I listen to that are R&B of the last decade and a half, but the truth is they dabble in hip-hop a lot. Like, they might as well just be
borderline rap.
You might as well just be a singing rapper, like Ty Dolla $ign, Party Next Door, Yeah,
I mean, I'm looking at my 2022 playlist right now, trying to see what qualifies as R&B.
Like, a lot of the melodic sing-songy records that I've liked in the last, like, 5 to 7 years, I would say, your Kevin Gates, your McConans, your Young Pinches, even Young Thug, Rich Homie Quan to an extent, like, it's starting to kind of edge out the traditional R&B singers who are just making love records for the most part. And, that in turn, I think it also hurts R&B, because then R&B decides we need to be more like rap. And then you've just got a lot of R&B that sounds like rap with less rapping.
Yeah, that's what I hear when I get in my grandpa's car and he's got the Sirius XM on, and it's just like, it's the R&B station, but it's trap.
It's Young Blue, right? Or like one of these,
but not even Young Blue. It's just like, it'll be, I mean, like, what was it, a few weeks ago or on the show, I played You're Looking at the Plug. Ooh, that's Ronald Isley singing Ron about Isley, the plug over, like, it's that, it's other people, like, it's has hip hop, in the 90s you had like Mary J, but that was still R&B. It had a hip hop flavor, but it was R&B. Now the beats themselves are just like, they're rap
same
beats.
Producers. It's like Murda Beats doing R&B songs.
You know, it's like, I mean, like London did like the Summer Walker stuff, you know, it's like, and we know we love him from the Thug stuff. So it's just like the separation isn't there anymore. And I think it really hurts both genres, but it hurts R&B more.
It hurts R&B tremendously because, number one, they're having to share airtime with rap. And if rappers are basically encroaching on their territory and are more popular, there's going to be less time for R&B artists. So to adapt, R&B artists are going to make shit that sounds more like rap. So everyone's going to sound like fucking Young Blue and modern day Chris Brown from the last like 9 years.
The thing about Chris Brown, I hear he's still moving, but I've never, even before he did what he did to Rihanna, I was never like a huge fan of him musically. And then after that, I just didn't bother at all. But like, is he really keeping R&B alive? I don't know. That's what they're telling me. Like, I'm looking at my playlist, and I have like the Hicks. They would qualify as R&B.
Okay, but even that is like even more kind of neo soulish, isn't it?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, a little bit. I mean, it's more traditional R&B than other stuff. Benny
it's
Sings,
not the kind of. It's not the kind. Oh, that's not R&B. Benny Sings is not R&B. Pop? He considers himself to be AOR.
Okay, got it. Okay.
Which, you know, does have like some R&B, you know, Blue-Eyed Soul.
Yeah, it draws from that. Yeah. Yeah, I don't have a lot of, and I'm grew up on.
Benny Sings
I'm the
pop.
R&B man.
Like the kind of music he's making is like, you know, the city pop, basically.
Yes. Shout out to Japan, you know, but yeah, I don't really actually have much. And I mean, I know what's out there. I need to talk to my man Paul because he's up on all of what's really going on in the world of real R&B. You know, I'm sure it's out there, but the point that we're making is that it's not mainstream anymore. You used to be able to hear these songs.
We've had this discussion, I don't remember on what episode at this point, about R&B being in a weird spot because it's very girl focused, love focused, relationship focused, whatever. That kind of being a bit of an albatross where it's like you're not really getting too many songs that deviate from this subject matter from every artist in the genre, damn near. It's all about love and feelings and all that, and you know, we're not getting enough subject, and that's why rap edged them out, I truly think. Not just because a lot of the rappers just had bigger names, but because you're getting melodies on records and they're something you want to sing along to, kind of has that R&B feel to it, but the subject matter is not necessarily delving into the same stuff that the R&B was delving into, which was, you know, it's a love life, and things about it are often love.
Well, the love songs of the day, my issue with them is that they feel, now this is of course just my perspective. I'm sure there's tons of it out there that it's available. That's what I'm looking for, but just what I've come across, you know, in a you know, just at a glance, it's not simpy enough. It's not pro love. It's always, you know, conflict and trauma and breakup and situationships, and you know, like, where's the I love you so much, girl, I need this, or I love you, boy, we gonna do this for life? Where is that? You know, that's the, and people have expressed this. It's
I guess what I'm saying,
niggas don't get on their knees no more and sing to
all,
the you know,
all of these things have been expressed, though. I'm looking for R&B that expresses something different entirely, because it's like, all right, love, we get it, sex, it's great, we all love it.
But that fell out of favor to where I'm looking for it again. But what you're saying, we're getting that in rap though now. Like they're singing about.
We're getting different something. Well, sometimes, I mean, sometimes they are singing about love, but sometimes they're just singing about anything. You know, it's like when we did the Young Dro mixtape, and he took still, what is it? Akon. Right now. I want to make love right now. And Dro changed it to I'm still selling drugs right now. Like, listen, it's something different. It's something other than love. I think I've had my fill on love songs with R&B production. R&B singers' best bet right now is to find a new angle. Or continue to watch the rappers eat your lunch.
As a black man, I have not had my fill of niggas singing about women. So
you haven't heard. Listen, you didn't know. Back. You didn't know Super Freak was the basis of Can't Touch This. Okay, don't be telling me as a black man,
brother. Not this again. It wasn't that I didn't know. It's just like I didn't think about. Like it's a thing. I knew. I just didn't know. You know, like I didn't stop to think about. Oh yeah, that's what that is. Like it's anyway.
You got to go back and hear all the old ones you missed. All right, we haven't forgotten about Stand and Deliver either. Okay.
You've been in the voicemails, huh? I haven't played that message yet. Jesse called in about that. You'll hear it probably next week or something.
Look, I have my sources, okay? I have people on the inside who remind me of things that happen in these hours and hours of recording. All I'm saying is R&B feels like it's at a fucking impasse, does it not?
Well, yeah, it has, but, you know, for lots of different reasons. You know, so.
Let's get it back on track. I want to see, like, this decade, we get rid of this the PB R&B, whatever the fuck they were calling that shit. That fucking did put a dent in the operation as well. All right.
Well, I mean, that's like the alternative art. I mean, that was like Weeknd, right? Like when he first.
They were trying to say that, but they were also lumping like How to Dress Well in there. I mean, they were just going with anything that was like blog R&B, like non-mainstream sounding at the time. Frank Ocean was considered PB R&B. Okay, get that out of here. And Weeknd makes better music now that he's locked in fully. We know this, okay? Only the deluded still hold on to that old trilogy.
Listen, I need some goddamn 1,000 kisses from you is never too much. That's what I need. All right. This could turn into R&B rankings. I'm gonna relax, okay? There's a lot of reasons, but we've touched on them. And the point is, Kevin Gates is a rapper who's incorporated melody.
A lot of the appeal to a degree is that like sing-songy, you know, like element that he brings into it, not just in the hooks, but at points in the verses as well.
With all the rappers, not just Kevin, all the new rappers, it's all melodic now, you know, and yeah, it's definitely here. But Kevin Gates' specific bit of it is his voice, his actual, like his tone, his register, his, you know, it's kind of gravelly, you know, it's deep. It's more so because you got melodic rap like a Cardi or an Uzi, but they're up here with it and they're, you know, flying around the wall. Kevin Gates is grounded, you know. And
it's I mean, there's a youthful energy to a Cardi or an Uzi that like Kevin Gates feels like, you know, the bad motherfucker wallet from Pulp Fiction. Like, you know, he's a bit like, you know, like a leathery sounding voice to me.
Yeah.
I love his voice. I think he has one of the best modern rap voices in history. Like
it's
right
kind
now,
of
he's got like such a drawl that sounds so good on production that honestly, if we're in the hands of say a Rod Wave, who we reviewed recently on Rap Express, I wouldn't give a shit about it all. He elevates the production that he's on.
All across the album. For sure. All across. Because I'm going to say it. You know what? I'm going to say it. I mean, I was going to say it later, but I'll say it now. Production-wise, this is not a standout album for me.
but Kevin Gates is so good at what he does.
I don't have that much to say about the beats, honestly. Like, the performances make me get into the beats because he complements the beats so well, and he's able to elevate them in a sense, but I would not listen to this as an instrumental album.
Right. So, yeah, I mean, he has the kind of character to his voice that, you know, he strikes me as one of those artists. He's a newer artist that like an older generation would connect to merely from his voice.
Yeah, because there's like a bluesy element to it.
Yes. Right. You know,
it's
like
his voice very much feels lived in. It doesn't sound like someone trying to feel around in the dark for how they should sound on a song. Like, right. He fits these beats like a glove. He knows how to approach each and every one of them. I'll say this, even though I'm not a huge fan of the production as a whole on this project, I'll say everything's mixed really well.
Yeah, I don't have any issue with any mixes here.
Like, in the car, in the headphones, everything's coming through balanced. You know, certain elements are defined and they stick out in the mix when they're meant to be, you know, highlighted. It's a good sounding project.
Yeah, that's that Atlantic sheen, I suppose. You know, it's what the machine is supposed to do when you.
This is what I was thinking about, because, like, regardless of if the hooks are for me or not on this project, I do feel like there's a level of professionalism across the board with the hooks. And then I started thinking about Lupe, who we just did on Rap Express, who was on Atlantic. And then I started thinking about T.I. and his tenure on Atlantic. And I think as a rapper, the more open you are to, like, certain commercial initiatives, the easier time you'll have on a record label like that. Like, Gates to me isn't someone who's on Atlantic and I'm like, oh boy, you got to get him off this label. They're holding him back. Like, what he does fits what they want, I guess, to the point where I don't feel like he's being compromised by them.
See, now I didn't got depressed. I got to keep it together because I'm a junior captain. I gotta help steer the ship tonight. But what you just said is what I was saying the whole time I was trying to be a professional musician. It's like, these labels don't understand. I'm there to make them. I'm not gonna be fighting you. Of course, I have artistic integrity and everything. But, like, listen, I understand this is a business. I'm here to help make you money. You know,
yes.
Like, if we can figure this out, let's figure this out. You know, like,
on the note of this, like, kind of having like a Atlantic sheen or just like a degree of professionalism across all of the choruses on this album, you know, nothing feels like totally mailed in except for one chorus. And even that, I feel like, is just a byproduct of the times we're living in more than anything else. But we'll get to that later.
I think I know what chorus it is, but yeah.
Because he fits a lot of those initiatives, I guess, he has an easier time than like a Lupe would on the label. Right. And someone like T.I. kind of sits in between them. As, like, I've had, you know, experiences hearing T.I.'s music where this is just speaking to his Atlantic era stuff, where it's like, yeah, this is very good, like King. And there's like a ton of great stuff, even if I can tell there's been an attempt to make it more like national sounding than regional by the label. Mm-hmm. And then there's stuff like Live Your Life, which, yeah, it was a big hit, but I hate the record. And that, like, feels awkward to hear T.I. on that song talking about swagger of a college kid. You know, this T.I. that we know today is not the T.I. that I came up on. So, you know, watching him kind of become corny and weird in real time was a bit of a trip. But, like, less, I guess, jarring than some of Lupe's experiences on that label and what that yielded. So, I don't think Atlantic is just a curse onto itself. I think
no label is a curse. It depends on what you came there to do and how malleable you are. Like if you don't have anything, and I'm not saying this is Kevin Gates, but if you don't have anything to say, like if you don't have a message or an imperative, a mandate or whatever with your art, you'll probably have a great time on a label because they write you're a performer. Like, hey, give me the songs like Flow Rider. Like Paul was telling me, he showed up, he's like, yeah, my song done yet? If not, he went out to the food court and came back when it was done. Like, if that's what you want to do, you're not going to have major label horror stories. But, if you're very protective over your art, if you care a lot about the things that you put out into the world, you're probably going to end up butting heads. Probably. I mean, you got your artists that end up in great situations where they have a lot of
a Cardi
freedom.
B, for example, who's probably a notch higher than even Gates when it comes to malleability with Atlantic Records. She's in the Flow Rida category where it's like she just shows up and gets her, assignment, basically. Right. I do sense that Gates has a little bit more control over his process because, like I said, even if people are writing these hooks for him, there's no way they're writing these verses. I mean, they're so Kevin Gates, going back to his earliest recordings. That's one thing, is like he is very uniquely onto himself, as we'll come to discover in a lot of these lyrics.
Well, that's a great transition because, before he gets into the actual verses, he's like, all right, I'm going to get it all out right here. You heard me? It's my healing process. You know what I'm saying? Very first things we hear, verse 1. First time I've ever been disappointed, think it came from my mother. I subconsciously engaged in things that's making me suffer. So already right there, you're not going to get that from a writer. If you have any kind of integrity, you're not going to get that from a writer's camp. And just say it. So, like, he's pulling from real life. Now, those bars specifically actually hit me in a place because, like, I have a sort of similar parallel to those lines. So it hit me in a place. But right after that, what gets me, and we've done our fair share of toxic music on the show. We reviewed Future, rap is pretty toxic in itself, but he's like, and this in turn has had an effect on how I deal with a woman. I try to turn them against their family just to prove that they love me. Is this the most toxic line we've encountered? Like, that shit is crazy. Admit.
It's more, it gets even more toxic. I put that iron on your cousin. I put that iron on your brother. And when they draw the chalk line, pretend that I don't know nothing.
So you just go outright kill her family.
Yes.
Like, that's fucking nuts.
That's good violence, if you ask me.
It's interesting. I don't know if I want to admit to it being entertaining. It's interesting to take it there.
This is what you need to understand.
With a melody, no less.
Gates is Joker-fied.
Oh, yeah. He is. I think we understand that because we connect to the tortured soul of Kevin Gates. We know to be this level of tortured, you have to be Joker-fied to a degree. Yes. So, yeah. This continues. Verse 2. Well, I'm supposed to be giving a fuck little bitch. Let me calm down. I heard your opinion. I'm not giving a shit. I'm really up now. When
he switches into the falsetto, kind of like how Future does on the.
I wrote la-di-da-di-da high voice.
Yeah.
La-di-da-di-da. Yeah, he's upon the pressures you making him out this way. He's doing the triple time thing. So he's versatile. Yeah. Like he flips into that, and again, though, this substance that comes directly from Kevin Gates.
He's versatile, but like he can do that kind of stylistic stuff we've praised Young Thug for.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a different energy. Thug is more carefree. Gates definitely I would never describe as being carefree.
It's pain. This is good pain. Okay?
This is the blueprint for your rod waves, in my opinion. Like that's why I thought he was.
It's beyond your opinion. It's just a fact. Okay, like there would be no rod wave if not for Kevin Gates.
But the difference is, and this is how I know I just got to stay true to myself and my ratings, is that when I hear some of this music, it cuts me very deeply, and I feel it. You know?
Yeah.
I don't feel Rod Wave. I hear what he's doing. Something is not connecting with me though. Maybe it's his language, maybe it's his voice.
It's both.
Maybe it's, you know,
he doesn't have the same weathered voice of Kevin Gates. He doesn't have the same songwriting ability.
Right. He doesn't have the ear for melody.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, melody number one. Yeah, in that songwriting sense, but also just lyricism. I mean, the substance that goes beyond the platitudes. We know you're in pain. We're all in pain. That's fine to be in pain and to sing about being in pain. But take me there in a way I haven't heard yet. You know? Okay.
Now another stray thought I had today was thinking about like Wayne and Prodigy, and you know they're always like basically interchangeable for my top two. Wayne, like Gates from New Orleans, definitely has like that syrupy kind of texture to his voice. You know, Gates is even more baritone sounding though. And Prodigy with the paranoid bars and, you know, just the energy that he brought on a lot of his shit, especially the solo material. And Gates maybe is like a weird amalgamation of the two.
I was just listening to Prime Lane in the shower earlier. Like I was like Drought Is Over too. So it's fresh in my mind. What I would say on the topic of those people, what Kevin Gates shares that they share is a human element.
Okay. Yeah.
They are very human artists. Now, I'm not saying that Rod Wave is like a subhuman or he's not human, but it's, you know, I can't find personally.
I can't connect. That's it.
It's enjoyment here. We're rating enjoyment. I'm telling you it's good or bad.
I'm going to be honest with you. When I hear some of this Gates stuff, I connect intensely to it, like on a very emotional level.
I know he knows what pain is. I can feel it.
Yes. Or at least we share similar pain. I can at least gather that from it, right? Like, your pain connects to me in some way. Like, the other pain doesn't connect.
Yeah.
This is my preferred pain.
This is what I came for.
And it's swagged out pain. It's not just like sad crying into your freaking pillow music. This is, I gotta go outside and do shit, but I'm really not well right now. That's what this is to me.
Yeah. You know.
I'm in New York right now, you know, I'm supposed to be taking these journeys where I might need an interpreter, but like, you know, pardon my thoughts. I had to put up the burglar bars, you know, there's thoughts I got to keep inside.
I just appreciate his approach to things like breakups or relationship issues or trapping. And, you know, self-doubt, there's a little more care and nuance in the writing, you know. Say you fucking with someone to fit my description, but it ain't working out. Personal training, when I used to hit it, whip it and work it out. You know, I'm really for certain now. I'm knowing my purpose now. My insecurity wiped out. I'm knowing my purpose now. It's a step above Rod Wave. You know, it's a step. It's a cut above. Okay.
Also, it's much, much hornier.
Well, we gonna get there, but
and as far as Kevin Gates goes, one of the few rappers I enjoy listening to who rap about sex.
I will explain. I agreed, and I will explain what the difference is, because I always feel like as much as we explain sex raps and their caveats, there is a method here. Okay, it's like, you know, that you can succeed as a sexual rapper, and you can also fail, and I'll tell you why Kevin Gates succeeds here as we progress. But this felt more like the track one in terms of setting the stage.
Well, yeah, I think this song, more so even than the last one, has everything he does on it.
Yeah.
It has the singing. It has a moment like when he hits that falsetto, when he'll like go there. It has that random like disembodied, just kind of like him talking to himself. It has rapping on it. It has the melody. It has a chorus, you know, all that. So kind of broke down the many different facets of Kevin Gates beyond the memes.
No, this ain't about memes tonight. I mean, it's about memes too, but it's about music over memes tonight. I mean, you know what we do here, but yeah, my final note, I'm glad you disembodied because we're talking about this in track 1. But yeah, like these little talking interludes you'll do. Like sometimes artists do this and I'm just like, can we just like stick to the verse? Like, can we finish the verse?
Yes.
They're like perfectly placed when Kevin Gates does it though. It's like, I don't feel like I got snatched out of the flow of the music to just like do something else.
When I sing / rap along to a lot of these songs, I'll stop to say what he's saying.
You know, when you find someone seeking acceptance, that's dangerous because they're not, you know, like when he's talking, again, it could be his voice. It could just be the fact that what he's actually saying, I connect with. Right. You know, but I appreciate it.
I mean, he goes on a long one at the end of the album that I'm just like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Oh, no, there are bars in that one. We're getting there.
Like, oh, my God. But then there's small ones. Like, there's one on the album where he's like, I'm like a really good friend. The only thing is I'm not a friend.
Yeah, it's later on. I think it's some song that he's talking to a girl. But, yeah. Yeah, that happens here. And I like it. It doesn't feel like needless flair.
It's
like
not ad-libs either. It's like very much like inner monologue style, I feel like.
Right. Yes. You know, as someone who talks to himself a lot, you know, I understand. Again, I know he knows pain. I know he knows inner monologue. Okay.
He worries me because I like, again, like the fact that I connect to this guy so deeply with some of these records, I really got to wonder, like, are we the same strain of crazy?
Well, he's a talented man, so, I mean, it's not so bad, you know? But,
yeah I mean, hashtag literally me, you know? Like, there's some of these Kevin Gates songs, I feel like, you know, the girlies when that Glorilla comes on.
Oh, shit. Well, yeah. That's Icebox. You
the superior Icebox.
I don't know about all that.
And a discussion on the state of R&B.
Yeah, they got a lot here.
R&B should really pivot to food talk.
You want niggas singing about bunt cake and fucking chitlins?
Yes.
Anthony Hamilton, you know, they say his voice sound like a boiling pot of, what is he, greens or whatever.
Well, Big Crit should bring his, what do they say his shit sounds like?
What do they say? It's something Cadillac. It's something like whatever the meme is with him, like some country. It's some country.
Yeah, so, he should drive on down, you know?
Coming down, cornbread in the back seat. And, you know,
bring some cornbread in the back seat, exactly.
And Anthony Hamilton and be, you know, there singing his shit. I almost forgot what he sounded like. I don't know if I can imitate him. He has a certain voice. It's hard to imitate, you know. I'm not even gonna try it.
I could give Charlene a shot, but it could end up sounding racist, so I'm not going to.
Oh, wow. Okay. Let me see. You know what? Nope, not tonight.
Some things are just left better undone, you know?
I tried to start and it just ended up sounding like constipation. So let's just let's keep going. You want to keep going?
Sure. I have no problem with keeping it going. I don't know why we stopped and talked on Icebox for so long.
You know,
whenever the mood strikes us, I suppose. It's rad, baby. You'll be here for an hour, 2 hours, 3. Who gives a shit, right? You're going to listen to it all. You'll be back next week to hear the next one.
Yo, it's Mel from Rap Rankings. To hear the full episode this clip comes from and all the other episodes, stop by raprankings.com or search Rap Rankings on your favorite podcast platform.